What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So today we got a few things that we're going to go over. First, we're going to go over the deal that Congress has regarding the $1.5 trillion government spending bill. That's the first thing we're going to discuss. And remember, this bill must pass by Friday in order to avoid a government shutdown. Next, we're going to go over the issue that businesses are having at this point because the pandemic loans are now coming due and many businesses cannot afford to pay those back. That's a problem. Finally, I want to give you a little bit of a warning and a reminder regarding weather. Because over the past few days, we have seen more than 20 million Americans get hit with a winter weather alert. Okay, storm warnings, blizzards, tornadoes, flash floods, right, rain and ice. So, want to address that because that is extremely important. Also got an email yesterday from somebody that is pretty much saying that I helped them be prepared for what came yesterday. So again, you may want to stick around for that because that is extremely important as well. But all you got to do, if you want to skip over any of this stuff, I will timestamp this video. I will put that down below so you can go and check out just the specific sections that you want to watch. But let's get started. Let's address what Congress has been up to over the past few days, or technically they've been negotiating this for months, but really the movement has been coming in the past few days. First, some hard right members of Congress have been wanting to shut down the government. And you're going to hear this, and you're going to see some people vote against a bill, and here's the reason why. Currently, Democrats hold or remain in control of the House and the Senate, but come January, I believe January 3rd, we are going to see Republicans control the House. So, far right members of Congress, mainly the GOP members, they want to shut down the government, wait until January, and then they will pass a bill that would be more favorable to Republicans. Well, some GOP members say, no, we cannot do that. That is not wise. And so they're actually pushing for a bipartisan, bicameral framework, which has actually been agreed upon so far as of this morning. But again, this will fund the government all the way through September. So, good news there. Now, even though the two sides have agreed to the framework, it is still going to take some time. Because even though they've agreed to the supposedly the top line number, the issue is they got to hammer out all the little details. This could take a little bit of time, possibly about another week. So, according to reports as of this morning, Congress is likely going to take up a short-term stopgap bill that will take them into next week. So instead of it being what is this Friday, the 16th, it is going to be the 23rd. So December 23rd. So again, we will see if that happens, but chances are that is going to happen. Now, initially, this bill was supposed to be $1.5 trillion. However, according to Bloomberg just this morning, they say it will likely be closer to $1.7 trillion. We do know there's $858 billion that has been set aside for spending on defense, but Republicans and Democrats were initially $26 billion apart on domestic spending. Okay. Well, we learned from the Biden administration that they're actually looking to provide an additional $2 billion to Customs and Border Protection and an additional $2 billion for immigration and customs enforcement. Now, the reason for this is interesting. And I haven't talked about immigration, I haven't talked about border security in possibly 6 months or longer, but what we know is that on December 21st, the Title 42 is going to end. Well, according to estimates, they are saying that once Title 42 ends, they are predicting between 9,000 and 15,000 migrant crossings per day. Well, in 2022, the average amount of migrant crossings per day was about 6,500. So that's a substantial increase from 6,500 up to 9,000 or possibly 15,000. So that's what the additional funding is supposed to go to. They say in order to keep our borders secure, we need to make sure that the people down there have the right tools training, and facilities in order to accommodate those numbers. So that's what we're going to see from that. Also, according to the Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, he says in this new bill, there will be additional funding set aside for Ukraine. There will also be funding to revamp the Electoral Count Act. So that's what we're hearing at this time. But again, it's still early. We still got a couple days before we see we have to vote on a bill. So there's a chance we will see this bipartisan, bicameral omnibus bill. But at the same time, there's still a chance that we just get a short-term stopgap bill that holds us over until next week. So we'll see what happens. But as I know more, I promise I will fill you in on those updates as soon as we get them. And the next thing that we need to address, we have to address what businesses are going through right now as their pandemic loans for millions are coming due. Here's what I can tell you. The SBA, the Small Business Association, they issued roughly $390 billion in COVID disaster loans. And these are very favorable loans. These loans went to roughly 4 million small businesses and nonprofits. Unlike the PPP loans, these have to be paid back in full. The good news is, again, they are very favorable loans. But here's the problem. After many deferrals, the loans are now becoming due. We are now seeing bills are coming due. In November, 427,000 loans entered repayment. So far in December, 1.2 million disaster loans will enter repayment. And next month in January, another 1 million loans will enter repayment. Now, like I said, these are very favorable loans. If you are a small business, you got a loan. It's a 30-year fixed rate loan at 3.75%. If you are a nonprofit, your loan is 2.75%. Now, why is this such a big deal, right? Well, the problem with these is that millions of business owners are not in a position to be paying back these loans. They just don't have the funds. Some business owners have said that they've had to close down their business over the past couple of years. They initially got the loan, were able to survive a little bit, but it was so difficult, so hard that they had to close down. Now, they're stuck with these loans and they have no way of paying them off. It's a problem. So as you can see, even though we are more than 2 years out, we are still being hit with these issues. Some people are still feeling the effects of it, and according to business analysts, they say this is going to cause a lot of small businesses additional hardships. And it is. I talked to somebody just the other day that does have one of these loans. They said they are fortunate enough they can pay it back, but they are worried what's going to happen because right now is their peak season. They're worried what happens in the spring, in the summer, and even in the fall. So we will see what happens there, but I wanted to bring you that story just because, again, many businesses are not in a position that they were, pre-pandemic, where they were making thousands and thousands of dollars every month in profit. Some now are pretty much going under every single day. So we'll see what happens moving forward, but that is what we know at this time regarding the pandemic loans. Now let's talk about weather for a second. And I need to read you a comment that I got yesterday afternoon. This is from a community member that lives in South Dakota. He says, and again, I want to read you this first, then talk about what's coming up for weather. But he says, and I quote, "I'm so glad I listened to you these past couple of months. I did what you said, and I had food stockpiled, and I had a couple of heat sources other than electricity. I am glad I did. We lost power for a few hours this morning, but I wasn't worried as we had food to eat and we stayed inside to not let the heat out. Thank you for all you have done." Now, for those of you that are on the East Coast, or even some people on the West Coast that may not know what's going on, over the past few days, we have been getting hit with some severe winter weather. Here in Washington State, for example, starting on Friday, Saturday as well, we got hit with a lot of snow. Okay. Well, according to Yahoo Weather, more than 25 million Americans were under some kind of winter weather watch as of Tuesday morning. And it's because of snow, because of ice and rain, tornadoes, right? We got some flash floods. We got a lot of stuff going on. We saw just the other day that more than 4 feet of snow was dumped on parts of Nevada and Idaho, which caused additional blizzard warnings in 6 additional states. And we even saw tornadoes in the South. And you may have seen this all over the news where people were stuck inside in the South, in Texas and Oklahoma, mainly because they couldn't go out. There was a tornado that all of a sudden just popped up. And so, again, this is part of the worry, but this isn't over. The weather services say that parts of Iowa, Minnesota, South Dakota could all see more than a ½ inch of ice and wind up to 45 miles per hour. If you get a ½ inch of ice, do you know what a ½ inch of ice does to a power line? Yeah, it will cause it to crash to the ground. It will snap. And you get a tree. Let's say it freezes, but you got a tree full of ice. Guess what? It could snap. If it lands on a power line, your power line goes to the ground. Your power goes out until power gets restored. Guess what? If the roads are icy, if we see power lines all across the city or a state go out and power lines just go down, guess what? It's going to take some time. So all I've ever wanted to do was just get people to prepare, get them ready. Whether it's having money set aside, whether it's have food set aside, electric, heater, electric blanket's not going to help you if you don't have electricity. It might be cold in your house, but maybe get a generator, maybe get a portable heater, things like that. So now's the time to be prepared. Now's the time to get ready. Okay, you should have got ready before, but if you didn't get ready before, get ready now. Go and buy some extra food. Go and get heater, Mr. Buddy portable heater. Absolutely love those. We've got 4 of them, I think, 4 or 5 of those now. Really like them. They work. They're great. They say they can be used indoors. However, I do caution you, if you do use them, make sure that there is some circulation of air, because if not, who knows how safe they actually are. But just wanted to fill you in on that. Again, I know a lot of people are worried about what's coming, that prices keep increasing, but at the same time, they can't afford to not have food, can't afford to not heat their homes. I told people just the other day, or actually a couple weeks ago, that one of the things I'm doing to save some money and save on energy is lowered my heat. So instead of 75 degrees, went down to like 68 degrees, or 73 to 68 or whatever it was. And so a pretty substantial decrease. But again, it's just one of the things you got to do. So that's what I got for you guys today. Hopefully you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. If you enjoyed today's video, do me a favor, do 2 things. Hit that like button. Also, click that subscribe button so you never miss an update. But again, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.